Makes sense. Why'd you get mad? You didn't really need to do that. Almost. Okay. Oof. I have heard about those things. That's the esophagus stretching or whatever. I've known people who've had to have it. You were looking forward to that, were you? Yeah, I'm not down for it, huh? Because while you watch it, you imagine all the righteous indignation, and it gives you a giggle. I know how it goes. um, 1 second. Mute me. Mute me. Oh, it's not anybody I want to talk to, anyways. Okay. I did. I did. Yep, that's exactly what I was doing. I was just too much for me, Jess. You're too much. Okay. My phone was doing a thing where it didn't want to tell me who was calling. It just wanted me to decide whether or not I was going to answer it or not. Yeah. Aw. Well, thank you. Okay, that'll be right. I'm going to go ahead and rinse out our machinery here because I will likely make the salsa, and so we will need it again. But I don't think we want graham cracker salsa. It could. It could. I probably won't be on that particular bandwagon, but it could happen. I put nothing past the eaters. All right. Not quite the response you were looking for. Good job. So we're going to see if this is enough butter, but I'm going to go based off of feel, the way that I want it to, welcome back, to stick together. To me, this is still too dusty. It's beginning to stick together, but I am going to add more butter to it because I want it to do better. It could. It could. I know. Um, no, we're making a cheesecake. Pay de queso is a Mexican cheesecake. We're doing prep work for tomorrow, Jess. So today we're gonna get this cheesecake in the oven, and then I'm going to do the salsa and the taco seasoning sauce. I know it. Um, and then tomorrow we'll make the tortillas and cook the chicken and make guacamole and then fry up our chimichangas. The first time I made chimichangas, I no. I made this like sour cream and lime um thing for the top of it. So I was going to do that again because I remember that Skip really, really enjoyed that on his. the last time. But I don't know if you guys remember this. Nobody in this group has had my chimichangas to my um, satisfaction because they we ended up with more or less like toasted burritos, but not like a good fried thing. They were very good toasted burritos. They were terrible chimichangas. Um, so I don't know. I don't know if you guys remember that day, but we're trying to redeem that. You want a burrito? What do you want in your burrito? It's a day that I will remember, yes. Because I love chimichangas. And they gotta be right, Dr. Bolton. They gotta be right. Chicken bacon ranch. All right, all right. I don't think I've ever made chicken ranch burritos. Mm-hmm. I'll be honest, most of the time when I go for burritos, I really like either getting barbacoa or the other one, the pork. Hold on, what is it called? It's like the little crispy shredded pork. That's fair. That's fair. Carnitas, barbacoa or carnitas are the two things that. Ah, yeah, yeah. Well, I will also have the rice, Davi, so that'll help cool the mouth off a little bit. Um, and the dessert will. But I was gonna make the little sour cream and lime sauce, so that'll help too. Not probably not enough. It probably won't help enough. I'm gonna be honest. I do. No, not that bad. I have right. I've known a lot of people who really get more into just like capsaicin chasing than I do. I do enjoy some good some good bite. I do. But I don't feel like I'm extreme. Every once in a while, a dish gets to a point where I'm like, that was probably spicier than it really should have been. But mm, mm-hmm. It can be, yeah. And it's all about who you're making the dish for, right? Did I tell you guys about Skip and the Indian fudge? It's terrible. I made that because Skip was out of town, and so I made all the Indian food for Ish, and she took some of the Indian fudge home. And Skip got home from his trip, and she was like, "Do you want to taste this fudge, this Indian fudge that Misty made?" And he was like, "Yeah, sure." And the way this all came about is because I was talking to him and I gave him a hard time. I was like, "You've been entirely too nice. All right? Like when you see stuff that's wrong with the food and you like point it out because I want to be honest with people about what's good, what's bad, what worked, what didn't, you know. Um in case anybody else wants to try anything, they know where some of those pitfalls are. And you can tell me where I can improve." I was like, "You're my only foodie friend. It's up to you to do it. Like don't fail me by being nice." And and so he was like, "Okay, all right, well." So I tried the Indian fudge, and I looked at him and I was like, "I never would have fed that to you, ever." And he was like, "I cut off a really tiny piece, and I had a Pepsi, and I swallowed it like a pill." And I was like, "I never would have fed that to you." Like, I know your taste buds well enough not to feed that to you. I made it because you weren't here. Yeah, yeah. I was like, I appreciate your willingness to try, but I have profiled your taste buds enough that I know better. Okay, so we're gonna put this into the fridge while we make the filling. That is not for you. Don't eat that. We were out camping one day, and some of the food that I made, it was a rough day. Okay, like some of my food got burned, um, and so I was already unhappy with it, and then it spilled some of it on the ground, and we're like in the middle of nowhere, you know. And she's like, "No, it's fine. I'll just eat it." And I was like, "Do not, please do not eat the food off of the ground like that. Please do not do that." She's like, "No, it's gonna be totally fine." And then she'd be like, "Wow, there's a little piece of bark in that one," you know. And I was like, you are so lucky that I do not stand up and smack that out of your hand because every piece of me wants to do that right now. Mhm. I was I was less than thrilled. Okay. No. I think I need to open some cans. Both of those will need to be opened. This can be put away. I have not. Likely. Yeah. It's very likely. But I was already mad at it, Dr. Optimal, and then to have it like dirty on top of it. They have gotten accustomed to my particularities. Um so Like there's a big running gag at this point about the silverware situation and using the same plate for dinner and dessert or the same silverware for dinner or dessert. If it's not washed in between times, it's unacceptable to me. And you don't have to do anything. Like just let me do it. I just don't. I can't watch it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to know what's happening. Um, it's wrong. So they always make jokes about that at this point. Um, if Ish comes over and like there's a plate with a bunch of cookies on it and some of the cookies are burnt, she'll eat those first so that I won't know because she'll enjoy them. But she doesn't want me because she knows that if I find out that some of them are not up to snuff, I will take those away and nobody will get to be anywhere near them again. Um, oh, no. No, God. Not even together, let alone with the cheesecake. It's rough. It's rough stuff. Well, she does actually prefer overcooked cookies because when she was growing up, her her mom would make these giant batches of cookies during the holidays and send them out to everybody. And if any of them got overcooked, that was the ones they kept, and that was the ones that Ish and Onyx got. Right. Yeah, 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 yeah. I'm similar. Um, I don't like it. I can deal with it, right? Like I'm not gonna freak out or anything, but I don't like it. I know a lot of people who do. Okay, I got my cans opened. Yeah, you like them together? I think I remember when I was very young, sometimes trying to hide food I didn't really like in the mashed potatoes because kind of like if I covered it in mashed potato and then swallowed, then I wouldn't necessarily taste it. So it was like a potato shield. All right. Let me double check my ingredient list to make sure we're getting everything. Do you? I need to make sauerkraut again at some point. All right. That is it. So, there's not a lot going on as far as the innards of this cheesecake, okay? We're using 8 ounces of cream cheese, a tablespoon of vanilla, which is a lot. Um, I don't think there's logic to it necessarily. If the things are supposed to be together, okay? If they come as a one thing, then that I can eat together. So things with filling or things with a dip or the stuff where it's matched up beforehand. But if you've got spaghetti and that's got tomato sauce on it and you've got your bread and it sits there and it gets all soggy on the bottom and then you've got a salad with salad dressing on it and it gets warm from touching your spaghetti and the bread and it gets salad dressing on the bread and then you've got this bread that has like these splotches of like this is the dressing part of it and this is the tomatoey part of it. Um, so it's a matter of how do the pieces go together, and does them touching impede my ability to enjoy that thing of its own accord? I guess. I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, it's when two different things that were not made necessarily to be put in your mouth at the same time. When those things end up, especially when you can't see it, all right, because you go to take a bite and it's something nice and warm and delicious, but you also get a random pickled cucumber in there that's not supposed to be in there. Do you know what I mean? Like when you can't see what your food's doing, you want it in its own spot, doing what it's supposed to do. Um, because then at the end, you don't know what you're going to come into. Just this plate full of goop. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness. Did I show you guys the eggs? I didn't, did I? I gotta show you. Did I? Okay, so I told you that, or you heard at one point, that Onyx's chickens had their first egg laying, and she sent me some of the first eggs that were laid. I told you that, right? I think. Well, I haven't eaten any specifically because I wanted you guys to see them. Hold on. They're cute. Okay. Tell me when I'm in front where you're going to be able to see in. Is that about right? We've got brown ones and green ones and blue ones and white ones. And look at how big they are. They're tiny. Yep, they're green ones, blue ones, brown ones. I think the ones on the top somewhere, one of the ones on the top are brown or green. And then brown I think is over here. I know the two in the middle on the bottom are blue. They're yeah, no, they're called I think they're called Easter egg chickens. Yeah. Oh, neat. Okay, I'm just gonna mix this a touch.